Hey everyone, I'm back. Don't worry about that. Hot takes. I just want to talk about my opinions. I don't care anymore if you are upset, if you get angry. So let's just talk about some of the spicy stuff, huh? Let's talk about these my spiciest opinions, so y'all can get upset in the comments section. I think that would be a good idea. So we're just gonna do that. Hey, subscribe if you want. I don't care anymore. Number one, generic brand Pop-Tarts are better than name brand ones. There, I said it. It has more filling. It has a better texture overall. Ask yourself, how thin does a name brand thing need to be for me to hate it with the fiber of my being? Then take that and half it. And you basically have the thinness of a normal Pop-Tart. It's all a scam anyway. They put less and less in for you because freaking, are you gonna care? You're not gonna care because you're a puppet in their machine, and if you don't subscribe to their woke worldview about Pop-Tarts, then you're just gonna be canceled on Twitter.com. That's what's gonna happen. But you know what? I'm taking a stand right here and now. Have you ever had a Great Value brand Pop-Tart? Those things are fire. You can have those and not even put them in the toaster, and they still come out and they're freaking gushy. Those things gush. I'll tell you that. You put them in your mouth and it. I want to make sure the mic is picking that up. It better. Name brand Pop-Tarts are incredibly thin, and when I was in my university dorm room, and I would have freaking boxes of these because people kept on giving me Pop-Tarts for whatever reason, I would open them up, and I didn't have a freaking toaster because I'm a freaking degenerate, so I would just eat them raw, and when you eat them raw, they just suck. They just suck, and that's how it is. With generic brand Pop-Tarts, though, you can eat them raw, and they melt off the tongue. It's a beautiful thing. What I'm saying is, name brand Pop-Tarts are classist, and if you like classism, you'll like name brand Pop-Tarts over the generic ones. But if you're a hero and you're a red-blooded American like me, you'll enjoy those non-name brand generic ones. Number two, you are an artist, you freaking idiot. I hate more than anything in the world people that don't realize their freaking potential. People wake up every day and they're like, oh, I'm not creative, I'm not talented, I'm not this, that, or the other, so I can't be an artist. You're a freaking artist! Shut up! We're all artists. Regardless of whatever you do, whether it be taxes, whether it be freaking ballet, whether it be cooking a lasagna for an orange freaking cat, we are all artists. We all have passions, we all have drives, we have things that we want and will do anything to achieve. We have the thing. We have the thing in the heart that drives us to keep going despite everybody telling us that we can't do it. Everybody has that. We all have ambition, we all drive for something. And it pisses me off when people say, oh, I'm not an artist. Oh, I'm not creative. Oh, you're so creative, Connor. I'm not anything like that. Shut up! Shut up, you are. You're an artist. Sit down. Now stand up and freaking make something. Make something for the sake of making it. You don't need to be freaking good. You could be absolutely awful, but the fact that you're making something, you're freaking more of an artist than 50, 60, 70% of the people out there in the world. Because 50, 60, 70% of the people in the world do not ever make anything. Do you realize how sad that is? It freaking breaks my heart, man. You have so many people with the capacity to do and make things that transcend reality, and they just don't. What a waste! But if you've ever been at a church or a concert or anything like that, you have been in a room with everybody where they are just on the same page and they just are singing out and they're freaking worshiping. And they're singing like crazy, all in this united front, and you just gotta sit there for a moment and look around, and everybody is doing the same thing. Everybody is united in this pursuit of creating this moment. And they're not doing it because they're good. Are you kidding me? I've sat next to freaking children worshiping, and they're freaking belting along, and I love them to death, and they suck. They suck so bad. They're not good singers at all, but they are beautiful singers because they're singing. The worst dancer is the one that isn't dancing. The worst singer is the one that isn't singing. The worst painter is the one that isn't painting. You are an artist, so go and make art. Just for the sake of doing it. Number 3, the Lego Movie is like a top 5 movie of all time. I feel like we have this idea about what is greatness and what is a good piece of art and what is a good movie, and people have things that come to mind. Some people would say stuff like, I don't know, The Godfather. They would say stuff like Citizen Kane if they're like old-fashioned or anything like that. No, I'm going to go ahead and say the Lego Movie. The Lego Movie as a whole just freaking brought so many people together. I watched that movie more times than I can count because that was my brother's hyperfixation for the longest time. And so we would sit down and we'd watch the Lego Movie and he'd ask me questions about Emmett and Wildstar and all that type of stuff. And the spaceship guy, Benny, that's his name. And so I really got freaking ingested into all things Lego Movie. And when I tell you that this is a freaking fantastic movie, I am not being sarcastic in any way. Its message about you being the special, we're all the special, its tie-in to a creative use of the brand that doesn't come off super hokey. Its ability to create humor that's actually really funny for a kid's movie especially. Like, a lot of the time, this does not feel like a kid's movie. Like, in the same sense that's like, oh, I'm just going to go and I'm just going to drop my kids and I'm just going to, like, not think about this movie because I just need them to shut up. The movie's smart, it's engaging, its use of visuals is brilliant, its use of animation is superb. Like, there was the rumor that everything was Lego stop motion, and that's not the case. But the fact that it came off like that so well, man, it really shows that there was a lot of time and care and effort and love put into this movie. So everybody's gonna say stuff like, oh, Citizen Kane, oh, The Godfather, oh, Top Gun, like, all of these movies about freaking sad white men, and all I care about is a sad little brick guy who likes to run around and build things, and you know what? It's good enough for me. Number 4, debates do not work to solve things. The worst people of all time are debate bros, contrarians, devil's advocates. They just make my skin crawl. Have you ever, like, enjoyed yourself watching a debate? Like, about anything. I know this is incredibly ironic. I have a video on my channel, one of my best performing videos, and it's a debate. Have you ever enjoyed watching a debate? Really? Do you really enjoy it? Even, like, freaking menial stuff versus, like, the huge political stuff and all that, everything in between. Have you ever had your mind changed with a debate? I haven't. All debates are posturing. If you want to learn about stuff, there are so many other avenues of learning about the real issues and learning about how we can combat these issues using XYZ solutions. All debates do is posture each other to make you look like you got the freaking biggest truck in the rodeo. That's a weird allegory. Like, I cannot stand to watch and get recommended another freaking Ben Shapiro destroys liberal. Okay. He probably didn't. What probably happened is he was at a college campus, college student walked up and they weren't really educated on anything and they hadn't taken their public speaking class yet, and so they go up and they say, hey, I think the thing that you're doing is wrong and misinformed. And then he'll go, oh, well, actually, you're wrong, and here's why. And then just spout off like 55 statistics that have no correlation to anything and don't actually make an argument, but there's just so much words coming out of the man's mouth that the college student just goes, freaking whatever, okay, geez. And then that's called being owned. Yeah, you showed those children who's boss. You know what I think? I think the thing that solves things is actually acting. Actually, like, doing stuff in your community. The little stuff to the big stuff, to protests, to being a part of your everyday life, to helping those that are less fortunate than you. That's the stuff that brings the real change. The stuff that we can control. Of course, there are those giant people that own all of the money, and they can, of course, do so much more, but what can we freaking do? We can vote. We can vote. And voting is very important. You should vote. But can't really do anything else. All a debate does is just stress you out. You already know your opinions. You already do. And if you want outside opinions, there are so many other resources and ways to get outside opinions other than having your talking point and your pundit, your favorite pundit, shoot down the other guy's opinion with facts and logic. But if you want real change in your community, it starts with you. It starts with getting involved in your local government. It starts with being at the protests that matter to you. It starts with petitions. It starts with initiative, referendum, recall. It starts with all of that. It starts with voting. It starts with action. Actionable things in your community that you can actually do. It does not start with you sitting at home watching freaking Fox News or MSNBC and hearing somebody say, "Oh, get owned," and then you have your point validated and that's it. Let's actually work to make some real change instead of being so focused on being correct all the time. Number 5, the MCU is actually kind of still good. MCU haters and horoscope haters are the same people. Listen, man, I don't believe in horoscopes. I don't. But if you spend your entire personality being like, "Oh, Mercury's in Gatorade, oh, get owned, you suck." It's the same thing with freaking the MCU. It's the same breed of people. I feel like if you are a hater, you're like automatically cringe. Like you're a hater of like any like capacity of small thing, you're automatically like put at cringe. You know what I'm saying? Now if you freaking hate like racism or like the big things, yeah, freaking that's not you. But like if you're always talking about like, "Oh, you probably think I'm a Scorpio. Well, I'm actually a Gemini. Oh, well, I'm actually an Aquarius. Oh," or you sit around and you go, "Well, I think Multiverse of Madness was actually kind of awful. I can't believe what they did in this scene. This isn't real cinema." No, it's not. I agree. I agree that when it comes to the fundamentals of like what is brilliant and what is not, and talking about like beautiful art, then yeah, the MCU's made the same movie over and over and over again. And I have fun with it every time. I heard a quote, I believe it was Scorsese, talking about the MCU, and he kind of got into some heat saying, "Oh, it's very much like a theme park. They are theme park attractions, and then there's cinema. And they're two different camps." And I agree. But I like Disneyland. Is it a good thing to only have Marvel movies and superhero movies in the theater? No. I think that there's so many stories to be told in so many different places and things and everything like that, that if it was only the same thing over and over and over, it'd get bland and repetitive, and you can blame capitalism for that. People like it. But you know what? It's fun. It's fun. And at the end of the day, you're making movies for people to enjoy. You're making art because hopefully someone somewhere will see that piece of art and they'll look at it and look at themselves and be changed. And sometimes that change is, I just needed a good day today. And seeing this crazy movie with a guy that shrinks down into a quantum realm and goes and has wacky adventures with a big-headed man and Kang the Conqueror made my day just a little bit better. You changed that person's freaking life if you achieve that. I'm being completely real. So I think if you are a hater and you just hate because it's the fun thing to do, you're just not fun. You're just not a fun person. Number 6, never fake a laugh. watch my entire life change as nobody laughs at my jokes anymore after I say this. Laughter is one of the most beautiful things in the world. It is. It is. It is the shared experience of, hey, this was nice and I am having fun. And it is the reception of that is a beautiful thing that I just love, absolutely. But laughter should be honest. It should be something that you are able to share with a friend when you truly mean it. It should be an indicator to you and to other people that you're good and you're having fun. Fake laughter sucks. It sucks to do, it sucks to receive, it sucks all around. If I'm not freaking funny, I want to know. You know what I'm saying? I want to know if I dropped a stinker. You know, I'll think about it. I'll think about it for a while afterwards in pure embarrassment. But if I drop a stinker, I want to know. I don't want people later to just turn and be like, oh, that was kind of a bomb right there. I want to know when I'm funny, and I want to know when I sucked. And I also want to know when I'm real. Let me tell you something. If I went to somebody and I was talking about a real issue and they started fake laughing to cope, yeah, kind of weird, kind of strange is what I'll say about that one. Kind of odd is what I'll have to say about that. Number 7, mac and cheese is better cold. This is probably my hottest take. I don't know why it's 7. There's nothing I admire more about a person than if they can cook a quality box of macaroni and cheese. If you can do that, call me. I will date you. Like, immediately. And I appreciate the hard work and labor it takes to mix those ingredients together and create something beautiful. It is beautiful. It is a beautiful piece of art. But there's no feeling quite like opening the fridge at like 2 a.m. and it's like cold and you don't have the energy to like heat it back up, so you open up the Tupperware and you just freaking scarf it down like a pack animal. I'd be munching and crunching, not crunching the mac and cheese, not crunching. If I'm crunching mac and cheese, then it's an issue. But I will be squelching on that. I'll be squelching hard. And you know what? There is nothing quite like the moment. The absolute moment of bliss. When you remember, oh yeah, I have leftover mac and cheese in the fridge. And you go in and you just freaking have a ball and you feel like you're a freaking goblin the way you be goblin. So, mac and cheese, better experience, better time, better food. Put it in the fridge a little bit. It'll rock your world, let me tell you that. Number 8, legacy is a stupid freaking idea and I hate it with my guts. I was recently in a team where we did a lot of leadership bonding, and the guy that was leading the team talked often about what the legacy would be like once I was done, and encouraged us to think deeply about the legacy that we would hold. It was for a club. I hate legacy because when you think about legacy, you think about your life and fear comes into the picture, and when you fear what's going to happen to your legacy, what happens? Really? You stop. You stop making art. You stop making crap. You stop making the beautiful things that you're destined to do in your soul. That's what happens with fear. That's all that happens. It stops you from doing the things that you love. And nothing provokes that sense of fear than thinking about the freaking unknown future that you can't even freaking control. You can't control your legacy. Are you kidding me? Are you kidding? You think you can control your legacy? You know Vincent van Gogh? You know, the freaking Starry Night guy? The guy with the freaking beautiful paintings, the Van Gogh exhibit that freaking tours the United States of America? The guy in the Louvre. You know what they thought when he was alive? They thought he sucked. They didn't even rate him. He was that much of an unknown. And he tried desperately to figure out, why do people hate my work? Why? Why do they hate my art? He tried so long. He freaking made piece after piece that put his freaking soul into that crap. He put his entire life on the line for that crap. And he died thinking that everybody hated him. Where are we now? There's a Van Gogh exhibit freaking in Phoenix right now, where I live. He is called one of the greatest, if not the greatest, painter and artist of all time. You can't freaking control that crap. You can't control what people think about you. All you can control is the stuff that you put into the world. So that stuff better be freaking good. That stuff better be what you care about most in the world. That stuff is freaking top priority. You know what I'm saying? It is the most important thing that you can do. Put that stuff into the universe. It goes back to number 2. You're a freaking artist. It's an insult. It's an insult if you don't do it. And when you're so focused on legacy that it stunts your progress and your growth and your desire to create that art, you're lost. You're lost. You've deprived people of the things that matter most. And it's a heartbreak. Number 9, the Owl House is the best thing that Disney has produced in the past 20 years. People always, when they talk about Owl House, they talk about the representation, and that's fine. Do you want me to talk about representation? I'm a white dude. Whatever. What I want to talk about is the fact that this freaking show is phenomenal, and I love it to death. Its magic system is so intricate. Its clear love for story and art is so apparent. There are so many different moving pieces and so many character moments in this that are just so cool to see, and it recently just ended. You have the opportunity to watch this entire show on Disney Plus, and if you only want to watch the 3rd season, that's all free on YouTube. Freaking watch it. It's one of the best things that Disney has produced ever. So I highly recommend that you watch this, and if you have kids, show it to them. If you don't have kids, watch it yourself. It is phenomenal. It is magical. It is wondrous. And I love it with all my heart. And it was one of the rare times that I actually felt real emotion when a show ended. A lot of the times when a show ends or I'm done with a series or whatever, I just go, oh, okay. It is what it is. This was actually one of the times where my heart was actually kind of pulled by it. So if you don't have anything that you're watching right now, or even if you do, I highly recommend Owl House. It is phenomenal from beginning to end, and there's very little that I can say that is wrong about this show. Finally, number 10, life is absurd, and that's freaking awesome. You know what happened to me a month ago? I got in a car accident. I rammed my car into a pole because I misjudged a turn. I rammed my car into a pole. Luckily, nobody was hurt, and I was completely fine and everything like that. I get out of the car and I am frustrated because my car is bent and the tire is flat. I need a new tire, and I, financially speaking, could not handle it. But I'm in the middle of traffic and I'm holding people up, so I make the decision to make a U-turn and go into a nearby parking structure to try and figure everything out, call HOA, all of that. As I'm getting everything situated, the police show up, and I am supposed to file an incident report, telling the guy, hey, this is what happened, here's the situation. The guy says that people aren't going to press charges, which is a beautiful thing, and that there was very little damage to it. He leaves, and I get out of my car to try and figure stuff out, and I look up, and walking from the parking structure that I am parked at to what is assumedly an apartment building is a group of people dressed as clowns playing circus music. Dressed as clowns, walking, and they freaking have da-da-da-da-da-da-da as I'm standing in front of my car in a car wreck. They didn't plan for this. I didn't. That was freaking ridiculous. And in the moment, I couldn't help but laugh. It was just such a stupid thing that happened to me. Such a stupid thing. Such a ridiculous thing happened. Got in a freaking car accident. I leave and freaking clowns are showing up going, Gorsh. That was goofy. I don't know why I did that. My point is that in that situation, that was stupid and absurd, and it made my day just a little better. We live in a broken world. You don't have to be a person of faith to understand that the world is freaking messed up. There's crime, horrific addictions, racism, sexism, homophobia, freaking classism, all of that crap is happening every single day. We live in a fundamentally broken world. A world with pain and suffering all the time. And there are so many moments where you just want to give up on it. You wake up every day and you gotta do the same thing. Gotta go to this meeting. Gotta go to a class. Oh, now I gotta entertain the freaking annoying person at the freaking fast food restaurant that I go to. Then I go home and I have to deal with friends, family, all that type of stuff. And then I gotta go to sleep and I wake up and I do the whole thing over again, over and over and over, and then I die. It is monotonous, it is boring, and it sucks. We live in a broken world. And sometimes you just gotta laugh at it. You gotta be willing to embrace the craziness of it all. You gotta be willing to sit with yourself and embrace the fact that you don't know what you're doing. You have no idea what you're doing. You can make a plan. You can plan out the freaking next year of your life, and in one fatal swoop, all of it's done. You can plan to save up a bunch of money and be ready to budget and stuff, and then get into a car accident and ram into a freaking pole. You can plan for so many different things, but at the end of the day, life is random and life is absurd. And you know what? That makes it worth living. So let's have fun. Let's have fun with the random crap. Let's have fun with the stupid things that we have to deal with every single day. Let's smile because we're here and we get to embrace the ridiculousness of it all. Let's have fun with it. Anyway, those are my hot takes. I hope that you hated it. Bye.